I'm Dan Galush and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. We're back again with the Ruger Mark IV, and we're not doing it on this time because we've done some others besides on this as far as the review and that, but I do have the rail on it now, and I talked to you about that before. It's definitely an OEM rail, and you know why? Because you have to be able to eject your rounds out of here properly. Anyway, this side on here, and I'm going to go to a lower one, a regular reflex. This reflex is actually set up in a set. This is an M37, a Feyachi M37, and it comes with a magnifier. And we're going to be doing that on another rifle. I'm not too sure as a rifle, I should say. This is not this is a pistol, but a rifle. We will be doing that on there with the magnifier, and I got to get that set up. But I wanted to try this just by itself. Again, this is an M37 Feyachi, and I've got it set up, and I don't really know if you can see this or not. Probably not. It's never too good at being able to see these things on here. I would say you probably can't. And can't really tell if you can or not, trying to move it around to where you can. But I've got it set up with kind of the crosshairs type thing. There's 4 different reticles you can use on here, and there is a dot if you want, but I'm using like the crosshair type, and that's what we're going to fire it. And the on-off switch is right up here, because you haven't seen this on any of my guns yet. It's right here, and the intensity too, you keep pushing that and it goes through the intensities on it. I got it on one of the higher ones so I can see it. We're going to be shooting some of the Shooting Target 7 dirt bags. I've got them all set up in a row up here. Then maybe we'll shoot at the bullseye target besides. We're going to take this over about 10 yards because that's what it's about good for. And I've got a couple of magazines loaded, so let's go up here and start shooting. I'll rack a round in and take the safety off, and we'll see what this thing will do. I'll hit it. And by the way, I'm using CCI quiet, semi-auto. Well, it didn't. Oh, I'll try to see if I can. Yeah, I still got him. Okay, well, now we'll try that bullseye. Got it. By golly, that thing's pretty doggone good. It hit that flapper each time, and got the others too. That one just didn't want to fall. So let's load in another one. We'll put up some bigger, those others that we have done in the past. Some of the larger dirt bags, and also the bowling balls. I'm not too, or the bowling pins. I'm not sure if it'll knock those over. They're a ½ inch. They're much heavier. We'll find out. I'm anxious to see how this will do, because again, I'm using the CCI Quiet Auto, so it doesn't have quite as much punch. Remember, it's only 800 and some feet per second, so it did a pretty doggone good job on those others. And I set up one of those little ones again too. So we'll take safety off. Let's try for a bowling pin first. Huh. It's not knocking those over. We'll take out a dirt bag. Yeah, I got one. And I'll take out the little one. That one I knew. Well, he took out all the others, didn't he? Well, we got some more rounds. So let's try that bullseye again. Yep, it hit that. It can hit that all right. There, we're out. So that thing's pretty doggone on, because it's hitting that red bullseye. You can see that flapper every time. It's working pretty doggone good. But this just doesn't have the strength to knock those heavier ones over, because those bowling pins, they're a ½ inch AR500, so they're pretty doggone heavy, but they don't have a real good base on them as far as holding on to them. That's why you see that hole that was in the top. Some people actually hang those rather than set them up the way I've got them, but I got them the way the company actually sends them in to put it together. Before we go back to bench, I decided to load some ammo in here. It's a little higher powered. It's an Aguila Super Extra, 1200 and some feet per second, and see if it'll do a little bit better job on those heavier targets. I've just set up a few up there, And we'll just see how this works. Take the safety off. Try to get that bowling pin. Yeah, I got that. It definitely took them out better. Now we'll try on that flapper again. Yep, got it. Got it again. Must have missed it a couple of times. Okay, something that you really want to pay attention to is, because I missed those. I'm sure I missed both of those. And the reticle, I had it set just wrong. You have to have it right dead center into that screen. If you don't, you're not going to hit your spot. Now all those others, I hit them because I was shooting it right. But those two, they were on that bullseye, and the ones you notice where I did have it, they were hitting right down the middle. They were doing good. But we also have now seen that it takes a little bit higher powered ammo to knock those thicker and heavier targets over. Well, we learned a few things here on this. One is that I really think this needs a little bit more adjustment, but I'm going to be taking it off here because we're going to be trying it later on a different gun, and I'm not really sure which one. That's why I don't want to name it yet. But it definitely has to have a rail in order to do it. And I want to put a lower one on this. It shoots good with it. We got a magazine out, so it was, and you see, is unloaded. But in fact, I still got the sight on. So what you do to turn it off is you push in and you hold, and it's supposed to go off, which it's not doing. There we go. I don't know why it wouldn't go off, but it didn't. Anyway, that's the Feyachi M37 reflex sight. And again, this is actually made more for like a rifle. But this was a good gun to try it on because it's got the rail. It's a good shooting gun anyway, and we did pretty doggone good. Again, I used the two different types of ammo, the CCI auto, it's a quiet auto, and that worked pretty doggone good on those smaller targets, took them out pretty good. This is the Aguila. I mentioned that when we were up there shooting. That's the Super Extra, and I can't remember exactly. It's 1,255 feet per second. So, you know, that worked pretty good for taking out those heavier targets that we had. But the other stuff was just a little bit lighter for those, because remember, those bowling pins, and I think I told you, they're like a ½ inch, which right away is heavy, and they're also AR 500, which really doesn't make them any heavier. The others are AR 400, but they're still a heavier target because they're much bigger on those. And as far as the smaller dirt bags, pick them right off. There wasn't much problem there. But again, this is a real good gun for plinking like that. How would this look on paper? I don't know. We're not going to mess with it because we were good enough on there. I was hitting the bullseye on a bullseye target, so I'm not going to worry with it that way. But we are going to have the Mark IV back, so you want to subscribe and be watching, because we're going to be comparing it to the Buckmark, the Browning Buckmark. I have a Browning Buckmark medallion. Now, there is a difference in those guns, on just not features, but the fact that they definitely look different. And that one does not have a rail, where this one does. So what I'm going to have to do on comparison, and that's when I'll take this off, we're going to be using the regular open sights just like we have on the Buckmark, as on the comparison on the shooting. And again, that's going to be later on, because we've got a lot of stuff coming up on videos. I've got all sorts of stuff that's going to be planned, not just the regular full-length videos, but also some shorts, as we've been doing. And this is on everything. This is knife throwing, fishing, because Dan's Fishing Tales is going to be in here on a few things too. We got some new features, or some new products there we want to bring up. So as I said, we're going to have a lot of stuff. There's a little subscription area down here with me and Pepper. Just click on that, and you'll be waiting in line for whenever we come up with something different. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.